A squirrel crawled into a tree to escape the wind, and mercilessly kicked 2 eggs out of the hole, and took over the warmth and comfort of the nest. When one of the eggs breaks slightly, the baby saw the squirrel through the crack, and took him for his mother, and when it came out of its shell, it pounced on him. The squirrel is taken by surprise. He's a male. The baby owl came at him again. The squirrel was so scared that he ran away. The baby owl is very upset. In this strange world, he felt so alone. Suddenly, another egg behind him made a sound. The owl came back and pecked happily, and the egg responded. He had a family of his own, but then the wind blew in a Ferris wheel, destroying their nest. When the storm passed, the owl was curious about his surroundings. He chased the dewdrops and saw a family of blackbirds. He thought the hens were his mother. He spread his wings and ran towards them, and scared the whole family away. Turning round, he saw a field mouse carrying a flock of babies. He thought it was their mother, but they didn't pay any attention to him. And then, he saw the sow breastfeeding. The owl tried his best to squeeze in. He took a bite like a baby pig. The sow squealed in pain. The owl was lifted out of the air. He was a bit sad. He just wanted to know which one was their mom. They were walking aimlessly, and the egg accidentally rolled down a big hole. The eggs inside look exactly the same. The owl is a bit puzzled. Which one is his brother? He pecked at each one, and chose the one that responded more violently, but the egg wouldn't go with him. The owl turned round and shouted, "But the egg doesn't move. Are they tired of walking?" So he pushed on with the egg, but he reached the crocodile's feet. The owl thought it was their mother. He was very excited. He went under the crocodile's tummy, only to find the crocodile trying to get at the eggs. The owl was in a hurry. It took its brother and made a mad dash for it, but he was in such a hurry. It rolled all the way down to the lotus pond, but owls can't swim. Luckily, the egg can float. With the buoyancy of the egg, he managed to climb on top of the otter. The otter took them in gently. Just then the egg broke out of its shell. Inside was a baby crocodile. So where's the brother? The owl looked at the empty shell, and shouted desperately. The otter could see that he was in a hurry. He kindly carries him to a tree branch. The owl said goodbye to the otter. Then it followed the branch to the shore, and when he came back, it was already night. Under the various lights, the egg pit was beautiful. Even the babies inside were visible. The owl soon finds his brother. The little one was sleeping soundly. He wakes him up and doesn't stop. Together, they set off on a journey to find their mother. But it was late at night. He climbed up to a bird's nest with his brother. He held his brother in his arms as they dreamed, and the next day he woke up shaking. The house was being demolished. When the birdhouse was shaken, a hole was made in it. The owl and his brother fell down together. The construction was chaotic. One moment of inattention, the brother rolled down the slope and fell into a house. There was a pair of loving siblings in the house. Unfortunately, the family was on their way out. They got into the car with their egg. The owl was very anxious at the back. He kept calling out, and watched the car go away. The siblings in the car were fighting over the balls. He fell on the chair and broke it, and the egg broke out of its shell. The owl is still searching the world for his brother. He traveled all over the world, but he was disappointed. On the other side, they told their grandfather about the little owl. Grandpa took out a pot to put it in, but the egg is very anxious. They want to escape from here, but they're still missing it by a hair. But the cry went out over the loudspeaker. The owl was very happy to hear it. He followed the source of the sound and found his way. He climbed the stairs with great difficulty, and here he was. But his brother had just escaped. The owl was caught in a falling basin. The siblings heard the noise and came over. The owl is freed from the pot. The two little ones were very excited. They snuggle up together. Sister owl teaches her brother how to walk, though he tumbles with every step. In the end, Grandpa took them to the countryside. He wanted them to get back to nature together. Halfway there, with the breeze blowing, the owls spread their wings and learned to fly. They stumbled and landed on the shore. They played together on the beach, then through an abandoned pipeline, then through the reeds, sitting on driftwood, leaning on each other, floating down the river to the shore. They found a trapped raccoon. The raccoon is struggling desperately. The owl bursts the balloon with its beak, and freed the raccoon, and then excitedly greeted him. But the raccoon just looked at them, and then he left without looking back. The owl was disappointed. Just when his brother was hungry, the owl found many worms on the branches of the tree. It pecked up a worm and fed it to its brother, but the bug seemed to be unwilling to accept their fate. But it wouldn't go into its brother's mouth. Then a big hand came to their aid. It turned out to be a little raccoon with his mother. With the help of the mother raccoon, both siblings were able to eat their worms. They were thrilled to be taken care of. The little one quickly ran up to the mother raccoon and hugged the mother raccoon tightly. This time, they were not rejected. The mother raccoon accepted them kindly and took them back to her den. And from then on, they finally had a mother and a home to call their own. They lived a happy and stable life.